Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Carolyn Marie Yakopich. I am so excited to be back. It's been a little bit of a while, and I really have so much that has been coming up that I am ready to share. 2025 was such a year of death. It really was an experience of not just physical death of those around us, but also a continual death and rebirth cycle. And we are going to continue experiencing this death and rebirth cycle within ourselves as we continue to evolve and elevate our consciousness. The more aware we become, the more we shed light on old patterns and programs, and the more we're ready to actually choose something different. We can talk so much about release, and yes, it's important to release the emotions that are wrapped around a specific pattern or program that we're in, but not until we actually choose something different is when it fully transforms. So, choice is a big part of this, right? And this really plays into the 2026 year because we are in a 10 year. And a 10 year is all about having courage and confidence. It's our royal courage. What does that mean, really? Like, if you think about it, right? Taking the two words separately. So, royalty is the feeling that we embody when we are actually identifying as a part of God's creation, that we are actually holding the divine blueprint within us to be an expression and to co create with the divine leading the way, right? And the divine is not outside, it's inside, it's all around. And until we see it everywhere, we don't see it at all. That's like a saying, a statement, or quote that I really did love from and do love from Yogi Bhajan is if you can't see God in all, you can't see God at all. And it's really true. And you can use that word in and switch it out. Like if you can't see the source in all, you can't see the source at all. If you can't see the universe in all, you can't see the universe at all. If you can't see the divine in all, you can't see the divine at all, right? So really interchangeable with whatever resonates with you, but it really does come down to this truth. And this 10 year is all about connecting in with our royalty, with our divinity, knowing that we are an emanation of God, we are divine, divinely created to be that expression. And so when we connect in, when we're truly plugged in, there is no fear because there's full faith in knowing that we are fully supported, fully provided for. And even if our reality in this moment in time looks like there is lack, looks like there is, stress or whatever is going on, right, within our own perception, knowing that the moment that we plug in, the moment we connect, that everything else dissolves. And really, it is, they talk about this in the yogic tradition when you reach samadhi. It's like samadhi is the state of liberation and enlightenment when you dissolve with the divine, you dissolve into the divine. And really, this is what we're here to do. This is how, to me, and again, take what resonates, leave the rest, because this is my experience of my journey, my life, my awareness that I have obtained over my years of being on the spiritual path, which started at a very young age. And, if you don't know about me and my past, like I've spent time living in India, I've had multiple trips and initiations in Egypt now. I work on the sacred sites. I really have spent, I had active addiction issues for and struggles for 22 years of my life, out of a 24-year period where I was sober for 2 years. And now I am beyond 8 years sober, and it's really it's really taught me so much about this path, and being a yogi was part of the whole journey for me. And there was a lot of yo-yoing back and forth between sobriety, spiritual teachings, going for enlightenment, and then it's like swinging back into the other side of the pendulum and then relapsing. So I have learned a lot on my journey, and this is my space to be able to share what my insights are, what I feel, and what I've experienced. So I really truly feel like when we connect in with God, when we connect in, with the divine, this whole essence and energy is something that becomes a frequency of vibration within us, and it starts to dissolve everything else that is not of the truth. It starts to release all of it. And it is really from this place where we are able to create a new paradigm on earth. And I know that there is so much trauma and so much drama happening on the world stage and happening, in people's personal lives as a result of what's happening on the world stage. I know a lot of people who are very engaged with what is happening, and it's not, we're not meant to bury our heads in the sand and not pay attention to anything that is happening out there, but it is truly up to us to be what we want to see in the world, to be that, to be it. So yes, I can see what's happening. Yes, I can acknowledge. Yes, I can pray. Yes, I can send my love to the situations that are happening. And at the same time, if there's something within me that is getting agitated, triggered, fired up, and angry, and it's like that feeling of going to war, because I know some people are in this state where it's like wanting to fight back, right? And I'm not saying not to fight, because we need this sense of activism to shift and change the planet. But there's a very big but here. Until we can work on seeing and identifying and dissolving the parts of ourselves that are at war, we're going to continue seeing it on the outside. So it really is about the inner work again and again. It comes back to doing the inner work so that we can be a clear channel of divine expression. So we have these bodies that are just miraculous. Our consciousness that is within these bodies, it's miraculous, right? It's highly advanced technology. And what we are putting in our bodies, what we are doing with our bodies every single day is going to make a difference with how clear our channel is. So, this is really important to address, to be aware of. And, we all have intuitive capacity and intuitive abilities. And in order to really tap into that and be attuned to that, it is required for us to be in stillness. If we are chaotic, busy, scattered, always doing, 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 there is no gap, there is no space. And, one description of meditation that I really love is that meditation is stilling the fluctuations of the mind, right? Because our mind will always produce thoughts. In the Kundalini tradition, they say for every blink of the eye, there's 1,000 thoughts that are happening, and only one is consciously downloaded into our awareness. So, if you think about also like the Akashic records and the imprints and the memories and everything that we have stored from our experiences, past, present, future lifetimes, all of it is here now, right? Multidimensional realities, all of it is here now. And we're in the information age, right? We are in the information age, and AI is like, right at the forefront. I I'm just going to go on a little side note here and tell a story that came up the other day about being in India. When my brother and I were there, we were just talking about this. We had spent 3.5 months at Osho's commune, right? So his meditation center in Pune, India, and doing a lot of different emotional release work, um, laughing, screaming, dancing, crying, like the whole thing, jumping, like moving the body, coming into stillness, connecting, intimacy, sharing emotionally with others. Like it was such a, like we always say, it's like a utopian reality. Like it really was the most expanded experience that I've had in a community, um, where I was held in community. It was very, very profound experience. And when we were on our way back to Canada, our travels back, we had, gotten a ride to Bangalore and we were waiting for our flight, and our flight was the next day. So we stayed one night in a hotel in Bangalore. And all of a sudden there's a TV. And we weren't living like in a village or anything like that in India. We were staying in Corrigan Park, Osho's meditation center, beautiful, like just beautiful nature reserve. And also, like, it's a very well maintained and modern place to be. So we weren't lacking, and we like when it came to let's call it not stimulation, but activity. And every night there was an Osho discourse on a big screen. So we would go to the pyramid, and we would go inside the pyramid, which was the great hall that we would do our meditations in, the Osho hall, the main hall. I can't remember the name of that hall for the life of me right now, but we would go there, and at first you dance and then move your energy, and then you sit and you listen to the discourse, for white robe meditation. That's what it was called. So we did have a lot of activity. However, when we got to Bangalore and we got to our hotel, and then we turned on the TV and MTV was on. Whoa. Like we were both like, it just felt our brain was being programmed and like sped up, and it was just almost too overwhelming. It was too overwhelming that we actually couldn't keep it on. We couldn't watch it. Yet we come from a society where we are bombarded with information all the time. And it's only gotten more pronounced and accelerated over the years. Like that was back in 2003. So that was a long time ago. Everything is bigger, faster, all like in our face, right? Like, and I mean, with social media, that back then, social media wasn't even a thing. So doom scrolling and like constant ads showing up as we're like scrolling, or all of it, like none of that was there before. So we're in a much different time. So coming back to this meditation, meaning of stilling the fluctuations of the mind, when we are able to be very present, right? And presence, again, meditation is like a tool to help us be more present in our day-to-day life. And so that can look different in so many ways, because there's active meditation, there's creative meditation, there's basically silent meditation. There's many ways of reaching that meditative state. One way that I've loved meditating since I was a child, before I even knew the word meditation existed, was to dance. Dancing, stretching, moving my body brought me so present, so in the moment, so aligned with everything. And it's, what it does, it first brings awareness to everything sensory, right? The five senses, and then it helps us to go beyond the five senses. And it really is when we get into the beyond of the five senses that we reach that state of alignment. And when I say reach, I'm not saying it's something outside of ourselves, but it's like an inner alignment of the awareness of beyond this 3D reality. And that's when things really start lining up. That's when synchronicities start showing up. And that's when our intuition is really, really clear. So, yes, these fluctuations of the mind are required to become still in order for us to be a clear conduit and channel of divine expression. So, 2026, this year, already what's today? January 30th. So we're at the end of the, we're at the, I was going to say we're at the end of the year. We're at the end of the month already. And for me, it has felt like I've lived a lifetime in 30 days. It feels like New Year's Eve, Gregorian New Year's Eve, it was already months ago. And at the same time, it feels like it sped right by. It went by really, really fast. And this is going to continue to accelerate. Our time perception is going to continue to accelerate. And I feel that because we are more present in our day-to-day lives, we are going to experience more in each day. So a part of this perception of time being deconstructed is part of us stepping out of the matrix, stepping out of, this inverted matrix where we actually start to tap in beyond the senses. So it is a gift. And if we can simply let go of any type of stress or pressure that we feel, that we are imposing upon ourselves about time moving fast, we can simply enjoy being in the moment and being present and really start to experience life beyond the beyond. My cat is, you know, gracing us with her presence right now. She may continue she may continue meowing until I give her some attention here, but it really is about removing the pressure. And I had said this today because I was feeling the pressure. I was really feeling the pressure. I was speaking with a dear friend of mine, leaving her voice notes. We go back and forth like this. And I just said, I have to release the pressure valve. Yesterday, for instance, I have a list of all these things that of what I need to do, in my back office and things that I'm preparing and all of this kind of stuff. And, yesterday I had this feeling like I didn't get a lot done. And I was thinking, like, I didn't do anything today. Like, what have I done? And then something inside me, like spirit, was like, pause, right? I heard the voice, pause. And I just heard, write down what you've done. And so I did. I wrote down the major things that I had done for the day, like, with my business that I had. Um, and I recognized, like, I got more than half of my list done. Yet there was a part of me perceiving it that I hadn't gotten enough done. So it really is this conditioning of pressure, which almost everyone feels that pressure on some level. And, when you are your own entrepreneur, your own, business owner, a solopreneur, right? It's up to us to move ourselves, to do the things, to do the work, right? And it's really this delicate dance of deconditioning the past of the hustle culture, of the pressure, of the force, of output. Because, a lot of us were taught that doing and doing more is what is the accomplishment, right? Yet to be truly successful really is being in alignment. To be truly successful means that we are connected with God, with the divine, with our own creative capacities in that connection, and to listen to our intuition and to be open to receive. So, yes, action is required, and even more so right now. We are moving into a time where everything around movement is going to be accelerated for us because Neptune entered Aries on January 26th after being in Pisces. And, so for like that 13, 14-year period in Pisces, there was a lot of let's manifest. Okay, I'm going to visualize and manifest. And a lot of it was a sit back and do the inner work, like do the, meditations and all of these things. But now what is really required is the action steps. So yes, it was all about developing our intuition, our spiritual gifts and abilities. All of that was part of Neptune and Pisces. There was also a tendency to get a little bit into escapism through that. So really understanding that that was the process we went through was, you know, developing our gifts, being ready to share, but then pulling back and then, either hermiting or escaping through drugs, alcohol, food, whatever it was. And now Neptune enters Aries, which isn't like it just started like, the 26th and it's like, okay, go time. It's not like that. Like it's an unfoldment. Everything in the stars, astrology, numerology, in just our day-to-day life is an unfoldment, right? Our own death and rebirth process within everything we're experiencing is a gradual unfoldment. And yes, we can have like a quick turnaround where things change in a moment. Some people have experienced this with loved ones passing away unexpectedly. Some people have lost jobs. Some people have had opportunities show up that they never expected, and then their whole life changes. Yes, things can happen this quickly, of course. Yet, looking at things like we're not missing the boat if we don't feel it immediately or experience the change immediately, giving ourselves grace that it is an unfoldment and a process of ascension and transformation. So, with this Aries, Neptune and Aries energy, it's now taking our gifts, our abilities, and putting them into action. It is time to move the needle forward. And that's going to look different for everybody, and it really is about the I am, right? Aries is the beginning of the zodiac. I am, right? And it's like, what am I embodying? Who am I being? You know? And it really truly is like the I am presence is the connection, you know? I have a program that I have created based on my body of work, my life experience. And I've launched just the first part and the first phase of that last year, which is initiation. And it's based on the principles of I am. So, initiation, ascension, mastery. This is what we are stepping into now. This is what we are now here to embody. And I truly feel like each one of us stepping into that alignment, that statement of what is the change I wish to see in the world? Be that. Be that change. A lot of us can talk or complain, and that's another big part. Like, if you're complaining, you are not creating. If you are hating, you are not creating. So it really is about inner alignment. If those emotions are there, the complaining, the self doubt, victimhood was also a big part of the Neptune and Pisces. It's time to let all that go. The self doubt, the insecurity, it's time, it's time to step into the embodiment of knowing your divine birthright, of being an expression of God. And your expression is needed right now. Your frequency, your vibration, your skills, your insight. There are so many human beings who are lost on the planet who are looking for guidance, who are seeking support. So if you have a gift, it's time. It's really time. And if you need support yourself to get yourself moving, to get yourself accountable, then reach out. I will drop a link below where you can book a connection call with me to see how you can work with me. So I have a few different offerings where you could work one-to-one with me or in group settings. So if that's something that you're feeling called to, then by all means, get on a call with me. I'd love to connect with you. It's one of my passions to support other leaders who are in transition, who are stepping into their leadership role more and more. So yeah, I would love to hear from you if that resonates. So, it is time. And you know, the interesting connection between the astrology and the numerology is that, we are in a 10 year. And a 10 year is all about that royal courage to step forward in our gifts and our abilities. And it's our radiance, right? So in the Kundalini tradition, we talk about the aura, and that's 9 feet in every direction when we're healthy. The radiant body is universal. So it connects us to everything and all that is. So it is time really now to connect into the all that is and the all that is within us, right? The mystery school teachings, I say them again and again and again. As above, so below, as within, so without, as the universe, so the soul. As the universe, so the soul. The microcosm, the macrocosm. We are all of it. We are all of it. So using this 10 frequency right now to really get out of our own way, to take action without force, without pressure, and giving ourselves grace in the process. And the more that we can develop our energetic body, the more that we can clear the emotions out of the way and really come to neutrality and also work on expanding our light body, the more we are going to magnetically attract this new reality. And it'll happen quicker and quicker and quicker because time is moving quicker and quicker and quicker, which is okay. So let me go back to that pressure about time, removing the pressure of time. I want to be here, but I'm not there yet. I thought this would be happening by now in my life and it's not happening yet, right? So all of these things point out the lack, and that pressure accentuates the lack. So redirect your focus to knowing you are exactly where you're meant to be in this moment in time. And it's about what you choose to do in this now moment is what will shift everything for you. I know there's more to say. I feel like I'm going to leave it here because it feels complete in this moment. There's much more to say. I haven't even touched on the year of the horse yet, but there's so much more to say. So I will be back, and I hope you join me on this journey. If this resonated with you and you want to continue to engage with my videos, please like, share, follow. All of it helps. Or subscribe. Sorry, follow is not for YouTube, but subscribe to my channel. That will help me to get out to more accounts and more people. And I just feel like, growing this community again is really at the forefront of where I am feeling guided to be at the beginning of this year now as we are moving forward. So I will see you again very soon, and a lot of blessings for now. Until next time.